So that chart shows the absolute boom, a trebling in US construction activity in the manufacturing sector, a trebling of activity. So the US has the Inflation Reduction Act, and we are seeing investors piling in, effectively onshoring. So there's a bit of a trade war that's emerged between China and America's response is to invest in manufacturing capacity in America. And so President Biden's seeing a huge surge in employment activity, and that's the sort of chart we'll be taking to Canberra, as you mentioned, to highlight to the Albanese government that Australia needs to have a similar opportunity. It is there, but we need the government policy to set the framework to actually send the signal so private investment can be mobilised here in Australia as well.
And what about the International Energy Agency? They put out a recent report as well.
The International Energy Agency's really been a bit behind in forecasting this boom, which is what we're sort of provoking them with our analysis. So we've seen the solar manufacturing sector see a massive surge in manufacturing. We've also seen the electric vehicle and battery manufacturing sector. So what this chart shows that in electric battery manufacturing capacity, we now have sufficient plans globally for manufacturing capacity to actually deliver on net zero emissions trajectories. So that in the space of 15 months, the IEA is showing how solar manufacturing capacity, battery manufacturing capacity globally is surging. And so to me, I see that chart as a precursor of where Australia really should be seizing the opportunity, because we are the number one supplier of lithium to the world, half the world's lithium. We have all of the critical minerals, all the copper, all the nickel, all of the opportunities, green iron, green aluminium. So I think it's Australia's opportunity to seize, and that chart highlights the magnitude of the shift that's underway. It'll be really interesting to watch how the Australian government responds and how industry piles in with a whole lot of new opportunities for Australia.
And there are a few leaders out there who are still talking about nuclear and, small modular reactors and so forth in terms of energy. What's your take on that?
Well, as I think even the nuclear proponents point out, there won't be a small modular nuclear reactor built this decade anywhere in the world. It would take us till 2040 or 2045. If Australia wanted to build a nuclear power plant today, it would be another 20 years. In the meantime, we can build solar assets in the space of a year. We can deploy batteries in 18 months. We can deploy wind farms in 2 years. And so ultimately, while they discuss whether or not nuclear is a potential solution in 2 decades from now, we can actually deploy hundreds of billions of dollars in new generating capacity, lower cost and zero emissions capacity, and that can be done in the next couple of years. So I would say let's actually wait till America actually builds an SMR before we start worrying about whether or not Australia should follow.